The actors who are returning to reprise their roles in Game of Thrones Season 8 have mentioned that not all Game of Thrones fans may like how this last season plays out. I mean, we're all very used to the bittersweet events that can come out of Game of Thrones, and it all depends on what kind of ending you're looking for as a fan as well. Were you really expecting a happy ending? Come on, guys. But it might be safe to say that this season will for sure break some tender Game of Thrones fans' hearts. Even Macy Williams, who plays Arya, said she and most of the cast were moved to tears after reading the script for Season 8. We probably shouldn't get our hopes up for a happy ending, but we can look forward to those side characters we know possibly coming back and playing bigger roles. Before we jump into all these theories, take a moment to subscribe for more from CBR. Now, let's get started.
Daenerys has been sent to lead the people against the darkness.
Kinvara. Some may not remember this Red Temple High Priestess, but in Season 6, Kinvara met up with Tyrion Lannister and Varys in the Great Pyramid of Meereen. Tyrion wanted to ask her assistance in convincing the people to follow Daenerys as their protector and guardian rather than a conqueror or invader. And naturally, she is a huge fan of Daenerys, aren't we all? Saying, "We serve the same queen. If you are her true friend, you have nothing to fear from me." She believes that Daenerys and her dragons were, quote-unquote, sent to lead the people against the darkness in this war and in the Great War still to come, which happens to be the war Daenerys is fighting right now. So do we think she'll play a bigger role in Season 8? Well, remember before Melisandre stepped down, she told Varys that she is going to Volantis, but will return to die in Westeros. It's a fan theory that is totally possible that Melisandre is going to Volantis to visit that big bad red temple that is there, which, if you recall, is said to be the largest red temple in the world of Game of Thrones, and just so happens to be the home of the Fiery Hand, which is honestly some kind of hilarious name for that badass of a private army. Anyways, the Fiery Hand worships R'hllor and only answers to the High Priest or High Priestess of the Red Temple. If Kinvara is still alive, she may be the woman in charge of this army and might send them to Westeros to help her Daenerys. Daario Naharis. Poor Daario. I mean, I guess you can't have worse fates than being Dany's man toy. Granted, she did tell him she likes taking over the Seven Kingdoms more than she likes being with him. Dany made him stay in Meereen on Tyrion's recommendation because he'd be a liability in the Seven Kingdoms. I see what you're trying to do, Tyrion. He has been known to be fiercely, sometimes violently loyal to Dany ever since he met her, so it might be difficult for him to leave her alone. There's always a chance he could show up in Westeros in an attempt to protect her and help her take the Seven Kingdoms. He won't be too pleased to find out she hooked up with her nephew, though. Oops. You've been friend-zoned, bro.
Marries his daughters. What does he do with his sons?
Baby Sam. Who hasn't been pushing for this cute little guy to make it ever since he was born? He's like an adorable ray of hope and humanity that has been long lost in Game of Thrones world. Thank goodness Sam Sr. saved him and his mother from that tilt-a-whirl life revolving around sacrificing babies and incest. Not a great place to raise a kid, if you ask me, even for Game of Thrones. We all remember when that all too foreboding question, "What does Cresta do with his sons?" was pondered way back when, only for us to learn that this guy gives them up to the Night King, and these poor unsuspecting boy babies are turned into full-fledged White Walkers. Talk about daddy issues. Besides the kind of funny thought that some of the White Walker army is made up of evil, icy-eyed toddlers, there's the all-too-real reality that these sons of Craesters have actually come into White Walker ranks. Like, how many current White Walkers are actually Little Sam's brothers or cousins? Now that the Night King is moving south with his White Walker troop, will he want to take back the baby that was stolen from him? The baby that was promised to the Night King? All equally terrifying thoughts.
Will you stand beside me, Ned and Alice, now and always?
Now and always.
Alice Karstark and Ned Umber. Oh man, just look at these brave yet absolutely horrified little kids. While we only had small glimpses of them in the last season, both actors are signed on to reoccur in this upcoming season. So without a doubt, something will happen with them, or to them, which hopefully is not death. But let's be real, it probably is. Damn you, George R.R. Martin! These two northern lordlings were the children of houses who swore loyalty to the Boltons, had lost in the Battle of the Bastards. And Jon pisses Sansa off really bad by returning their castles and lands to them in exchange for fealty. So about the aforementioned castles. The seat of House Karstark is Karhold, and official Game of Thrones maps place Karhold in a very northern castle along the eastern coast of Westeros, which means it's directly south of Eastwatch, the Night's Watch bastion that got blown to hell by crazy zombie dragon fire? I don't know, was it fire? No one's really sure. Undead fire? The House Umber seat is named Last Hearth because it's the last castle on the road up to the wall, and Last Hearth sits between Karhold and Winterfell. The presence of Alice and Ned in Season 8 might indicate the Night King's path to destruction if he he intends to come for House Stark, and since we know he's been gunning for Bran since the whole hold the door thing, that may be set in stone right now. Although they clearly won't be taking out the White Walker army themselves, their position could make them the first line of defense now that the dead have breached the wall. So yeah, not looking good for these kids. Send your prayers for Alice and Ned, cause Alice and Ned are probably dead.
Try smiling with your lips closed.
The Captain's Daughter. So this one is a little bit of a stretch, but who knows since anything can happen in the world of Game of Thrones. So we are all aware of what happened to Theon's downstairs area. Yikes. But let's recall back when he was getting legit with everyone way back in Season 2, like when he took more than a liking to the Captain's Daughter on the ship taking him from Robb Stark's camp to visit his jerk of a father. The Captain's Daughter mentions that when Theon is gone, her father will punish her, and she'd rather leave the ship to become Theon's salt wife, and she flees. Did she want to flee the ship because she was afraid of her father? Or maybe because she was afraid that she might be pregnant, and being a salt wife would force Theon to acknowledge her child? It's unlikely that we will ever see her or a possible Theon baby again, but who knows? If Theon finds out that he is a child, who, by the way, could be Yara's heir to a liberated Iron Islands, according to her deal with Daenerys, it might give him something new to fight or die for, or run away from, who knows? It is Theon. It also works out well for the Iron Islands. But does anybody really like the Greyjoys, though?
Most pirates don't grow old. Only the clever ones.
Salador Sand. Don't remember this savvy pirate? We get it. He was barely in the show, but was so cool, we would love to see the rest of his storyline. He's a pirate and friend of Davos from his smuggling days. In fact, he's a pirate lord and Selsail, who commands a fleet of 30 ships. Salador is recruited by Stannis Baratheon, thanks to Davos, to help in the Battle of the Blackwater, but abandons the cause after Stannis loses. In Season 5, Stannis and Davos secure a loan from the Iron Bank of Braavos. This allows Davos to pay Salador for his service to Stannis' cause, but that's the last time we see him. Best bet, he's now chilling in some brothel somewhere tropical. You do you, Salador. But some people think Davos may recruit Salador a third time, this time for Team Dany. With her dwindling allies and dragons, well, we can only hope.
Speak 3 names, and the man will do the rest.
Jaqen H'ghar. Jaqen H'ghar, Faceless Man, the guy who taught Arya how to be an assassin, is easily one of the most creative and badass characters in Game of Thrones lore. Jaqen H'ghar could be anyone, as long as they're dead, and he's obviously been to Westeros before, so we're really hoping the Faceless Man shows his face again somewhere in Season 8. Maybe he'll make a surprise appearance, helping Arya when she needs it most. Now that would be a shocker. Or maybe he's been Arya all along.
I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
Melisandre. We know we brought her up earlier in this list, but Melisandre may have more to do in Season 8, and let's hope so, as she's too cool of a character to be left out of the whole season. Like we mentioned, Melisandre got the heck out of Dragonstone in Season 7, and tells Varys that she's going to Volantis, and will be back to die in Westeros. Saying, I have to die in this strange country, she says, just like you. Ooh, foreshadowing. This implies that even though she's MIA right now, she will fulfill her promise to return, even though that means she will die somehow. We are so here for her returning to Westeros and serving the Lord of Light.
And there is only one thing we say to death. Not today.
Syrio Forel. Who didn't love Syrio Forel? Arya's dance master and the first sword of Braavos probably died at the hands of Mirren Trant way back in Season 1. But since we didn't see his death happen with our own eyes, we can dream of a world where he escapes King's Landing unscathed and comes to Arya's aid somehow when she's taken someone particularly difficult to kill off her list. Just seeing him back in Game of Thrones would be amazing, even if it's not probable. But he did give us one of the most quotable lines from the show ever. Maybe Jaqen H'ghar has been Syrio all along.
You didn't get much discipline as a child, did you?
None.
Which one of these moments was your favorite, and which one did we miss? Tell us what you think in the comments section, click that subscribe button, and check out some more videos from CBR. Bye for now.